Hello, hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Let me get the camera on and let's turn off the starting soon screen. How you all doing today? It's a fun day today. We get to continue on with TIS 100. I was looking through the main page and it said that there's over 20 puzzles, which to my count here, as long as there's no like a second section that happens after this, then it's probably down to here, and we have, I think, around 10 left to go. So we've done 11 so far. So we did over halfway last time, although that included the tutorial puzzles in the beginning. So we'll see whether or not we get through everything today. We've heard different sort of like that once we get into the graphic ones, it may become less fun. We'll find out. We'll see. I'm curious. I've never gotten this far. I think I only got like to here or so when we had first played it years and years ago. So I'm happy to be going through now. So with that, let's jump in. So we are in sequence reverser. Right. I forgot, we now have a stack memory node. So theoretically, without actually looking at the documentation for this, my guess is that if I put something in it and then I get something out of it, I get it in, let's see, it's the stack, right? So you put it on it, you get in the same order you get it back off. So sequences are 0 terminated. Wait, is that right? Or am I reversing that? I don't remember anymore. Oh, and communication failure. Let's take a look at the story. When I get into a groove working on this machine, it feels like I'm in the presence of another being that understands me. Forget all about life that pains me and drags me down. I want to be a tessellated intelligence. Take inputs, process. Take inputs, process. Take. That's. That doesn't sound good. Did the machine suck in my uncle's soul? Now that's my current new theory. The machine is alive and took his soul. Shaggy, last in first out. Yeah, that might. Let's see. Yeah, because that's right. I've always taught stacks as like stacking plates, right? Like you're stacking plates, plate. And then when you take it off, you take off the most recent one that you put on. So last in, first out. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so sequences are 0 terminated. All right, so we're basically going until we have a 0. Read a sequence in. Okay, read a sequence from in. Reverse the sequence. Write the sequence to out. So reverse the sequence. If I throw them all into the stack, I get the last one, right? So here, let's just see how this works. We'll move up right. So I think I have to do, actually we don't need the comma. So if I move up right until it's a 0, so if it's a 0, I wonder if I care here at all. Okay, so this goes into the stack memory node. So now up here, I want to... How do I tell anything to move it out? I wonder if I'm going to have to have this be the movement too. So we move up right. So maybe I need a label. So if we do move up right, I want to then if it's a 0, stop it and we start getting it back out. So then, okay, so let me relabel this. We can finally start using actual real labels for this. This is going to be like we have store, we have retrieve. Albert Larson, hello. How are you doing today? Albert, did you get the notification on Discord? I added everybody that had requested to the role right before I sent that, so I wasn't sure. Like, I don't really get notified that it's like, oh, like 4 people got notified. It just like, okay, I tagged the role. Okay, you got the notification. Excellent. That's good to hear. Okay, and then we're in retrieve mode. So we're either in storage mode or retrieve mode. And so when we're in storage mode, we switch to retrieve mode when we get a 0, right? So we move up. So we're gonna have to move up to ACC. We have to check to see if the thing that's in ACC is a 0. So it's more like this is gonna be check. You're about to install a debug version of an unreleased game on your main phone. Well, good luck. Hopefully it's fun. And doesn't just crash. Some debug versions of those things, like if they never released it, could take a while. Stacking, hello. How are you doing today? It's been a while. A normal version doesn't work. That does not bode well, doesn't it? Okay, so if you're equal to 0, then it's time to start retrieving, right? So we're gonna jump to retrieve. Otherwise, go ahead and move on to store. And in store, we're just gonna move up, right? And that's really it, right? But then after we move up to that, let's also jump back to check. So we're looping through here until eventually we hit a 0, in which case we go to retrieve. In retrieve, I want to now pull everything off of here and just send it down, because we just want to reverse them, right? Oh, including the 0. Oh, including the 0. Okay, hold on. If you're equal to 0, we jump to retrieve. That's the last. Oh, that's the last thing. Oh. How do I know? Oh, this is gonna be interesting. How do I know to put it in there? I wonder if I should throw a 0 in to begin with. Like almost like something like this, where we just say move 0 right. I don't know if I like that. You just getting over the flu. It had you bedridden for a week. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry about that. You're really not a sickly person. You have no reason. You have no clue why you keep on getting sick. Well, hopefully it gets better soon. Is this also going to affect your those procedures you need to get? Because didn't they move it so you need to get it more often? So hopefully everything works out. Oh, right, I forgot. Zilby's here too. Oh, that doesn't add cat in. That adds cat in. I don't like this, but if it's a 0, I want to move to retrieve. I don't know how many of these there are. We could count that, but I don't think that's right. I don't know. I'm not sure about the 0, so I'm gonna leave that out actually, and we're gonna have to figure out like how this works. However, it does make me feel that maybe we should move the 0 to the right too. So if you're equal to 0 in retrieve, I don't want to send a 0 right away. We need to send one. Okay, whatever. I'll move up to ACC, and then essentially I just want to move it to the right too, right? So move ACC right. In retrieve, we're going to move right down, move right, move up, right. Okay, so if we do that, and we step through this, okay, so 22 comes in, 22 gets moved over to the right. We check to see if you're 0. You're not 0, so we move on to store. We move up to the right to 84. We jump back to check, and we continue doing that. So we get through, okay, so we got 98, 43, 96. Then comes our 0. Wait a second. This didn't work. What happened? So we get this 0. Oh, I probably want to just move the ACC in. Okay. So let's move ACC right. Okay, so now 0 comes in. We throw it to the right like that. Oh, so I've doubled everything up. So I don't need, okay, so hold on. I don't even need this at all. Then jump back to check. So really, at this point in time, we just throw this all in here, and I just want to jump to check. Okay, so here's our 0. We moved it over to the right, so it's over there. We retrieve. Now I want to start moving right down, but it's the 0, and that's my problem. So this 0 is going to come out first, and that we really want the 96 to be out, which is there. Now, I wonder, do I want to just like have these things ignore for the 0? I feel like I shouldn't store this away if it's a 0. Like I also feel like maybe I should have a count here, and then we just like, because if I try to move right down, this is actually gonna go back up to check, and it's gonna ruin that, isn't it? Yeah. So we need to move right down, jump back to retrieve. I need some way to know that we're done. Do I want to also throw it in here and use this as a counter? Your insurance company wants you to try a new medicine before the next surgery, and they said that could take around 4 months of... Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully everything ends up working out. The entire, like, medical insurance thing over here doesn't feel that great. Okay, so if I count this, and then we can just minus, and, like, continuing to minus the ACC... so what if okay, so we move up to ACC, we move the ACC right. What if I also just move ACC left too? We're gonna say move right to ACC, and then I want to count that. So if this is equal to 0, then we're done, and we want to we're done. Otherwise, we want to restore, want to swap, and then I want to add 1 to ACC. So add 1. And then save. And that keeps our count now, right? So if it's equal to 0 though, we're done. So then we have our done. And in that case, we just want to move. We want to swap and move ACC right. So you just get stuck there and waiting, letting us know, hey, what are you? When I take that back out of here, you're good to go. If you're not equal to 0 and we got to here, then I probably want to go back up to the start. So this is count. Okay, so that's like a simple counter for us. So when we're doing checking, we move up to ACC, we move ACC right, we move ACC left. Okay, so we're just blindly moving over here. You're also checking to see if it's 0. We then check to see if you're a 0, we want to retrieve. We want to start running our retrieve function or code. If we are not 0 yet, we're just continuing to store things in here and then accumulate our counter. Okay, so that makes sense. Now, if we're retrieving, we need to figure out how many of these we're gonna do, right? So I want to grab our count from over here. So before we even start moving right down, let's just do move left to ACC. Let's save that. I don't need this is more like prepare. So retrieve, prepare. Okay, so move left to ACC and save it. Now we have our count, and now we want to go with our we want to now do retrieve. we're going to move right down. But every time that we do that, I want to now oh, I moved left to ACC. Okay, that's stuck in ACC. Oh, this is going to be perfect. So I don't even need to save. I just move left to ACC once. We then move into here. I'm going to move right down, and I'm going to sub 1. I want to check maybe at the beginning of this, so it's sort of like a while loop. And we're going to say, if you're equal to 0, then jump to back to check. Otherwise, move right down, sub 1, and jump back to retrieve. So just loop through this. So a couple different loops happening here. Now, if I do that, so we store 22, 84, 98, 43, 96. Okay, so we have 4 in here. Okay, so starting with our 0. We do have 5 numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's correct. So we take in 0, we move U to the right, so we add in a 0, which that is gonna be wrong. I don't want to move the 0 in there. If it's a 0, we don't want to move you in. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we don't want to move you in. So I need to not blindly move this into the right. We only want to move this into the right if we're not preparing. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We're starting with our 0. We have 5 things in there. We have our number 5 stored in here. We're ready to go. So we check to see if it's 0. We move it to the left so it can count that. We then immediately start. We check to see if you're equal to 0, and it's going to go into our prepare. We over here know that we're now done, so we're swapping over for our count. And we're moving that to the right, and we're going to wait until that gets taken. We move that to the ACC, so we now have our count. JZ check. So now for check, we're not 0. We move right down, and there's 96, which is exactly what we want. So now we're going to start draining those down. But we have a problem. Oh, when it's 0. Oh, if it's 0, I could send that. I could just send that. Okay, so 0 check. So maybe instead of going back up to check, we then do end, and this is just going to move 0 down. And so if you're equal to 0, jump to end, and then at the end of the end, we go back up to check anyways. So maybe that'll work. Let's try it. Hey, I think this is working. don't know if I can count this as first try, right? But all right.